Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. Yesterday, I mentioned that my mornings were not had slipped, and I talked about like what does my normal morning look like these days, and so I thought maybe we could kind of talk about that a little bit because I think that a lot of the issues that I have with getting things done, with my writing in particular, start in the mornings. Meditation. Let's talk about meditation because I've talked about it a good bit on this channel over the years. I've made it known that meditation is something that I do. It is a thing that I practice, and I have since I was a teenager. It's a skill I learned from a book. Honestly, I don't know what he would have been, like a psychiatrist, I guess. I don't. He was a person who provided by counseling services. So every other week, I think I went to see him and we talked for an hour. But he also provided. He also was able to prescribe medication. Whereas now, it's my understanding now that those are two separate professions or something. Like you go see a counselor or you go see a therapist and then you see somebody else, a psychologist or a psychiatrist for medication. I'm not sure. This guy did both. His name was, funny enough, Chapman, or no, Chatman, Chatman. He was a, and yeah, I went to see him for for counseling. Anyway, he suggested a book to me. I know I've mentioned this before, and it was something like there's a whole series of his books called something to the effect of The Way of the Peaceful Warrior or something like that. And it was, I mean, the author wrote it as if it was fact. I don't know necessarily that it was, but whatever. It was about a person, I believe it's listed as fiction. It's about a person going through a journey, learning meditation, and then uncovering, ways of dealing with the world. And so at that point, I had been aware that meditation was a thing, but I had never tried it. So I started practicing meditation and I started researching meditation. And I think I've mentioned before that at that point in my life, I was under the impression that meditation was some sort of like mystical like convergence where your mind was able to go blank and you were self-aware and self-absorbed, like you were able to banish thought and just experience like a calmness. And I strived for that and never achieved it. And the reason I never achieved it is because it doesn't exist. Like, I don't honestly believe that there's anybody out there who can totally just not think, like completely turn it off. There are moments, sure. Like when I am meditating, there are times when I will go into a trance like state where I'm not actively participating in thoughts. Thoughts might be happening, but I am not engaging with them. They are just running in the background and I'm not engaging with anything. That happens, and then that might last for a minute or two, and then I'm suddenly thinking about something, and then I have to kind of stop thinking about something, go back to a mantra what's called a mindfulness technique or something to refocus and go back. And that is the skill. The skill that you're learning through meditation is the skill to stop thinking about stuff, obsessing about stuff. It's the ability to recognize that you're not being present, you're thinking about something else, and to refocus and be present. That's the skill. That's all it is. It's literally just a practice of like, whatever. So, I used to have a commute. 4 years ago, I was not working from home. I was driving, and for many years, my commute was. I had two. My current employer, it was about a half an hour to get to my job. My old employer was like 20 minutes. And then after that, with my old employer, I would drive sometimes an hour, sometimes an hour and a half to get to my work site for the day. And that was my meditation time generally. I would generally have a coffee and I would just, active meditation. It's called active meditation when you're actively just concentrating on the task that you're doing and ignoring all the thoughts. And I did that every day. When I switched to work from home, it meant that I didn't have that extra time in the morning. Like didn't have to worry about leaving here 45 minutes early. So suddenly I had this morning time. This morning time opened up to me. Like, oh, now you can do things that like now I can do floor exercises. I'm not a gymnast, but for my back or whatever. So I was able to do more in the mornings because I don't have to take this drive. And what I found was that activities started to creep into that time zone. Activities like playing daily crossword puzzles, playing daily RPG, like doing a gotcha game and getting the dailies. And suddenly I started filling that time up with activity instead of, awareness, like mindfulness, instead of being present. And so I banished all that stuff, not completely, but I trimmed it as much as I could, and now I wake up at like 5:30. I don't start work until 7:30. I have 2 hours in the morning to myself. Everybody else is asleep. When my child's here, not so much. I have to get them to school and stuff, and so I lose some of that time. But when my child's not here, I have 2 hours to myself, and that meant I can do the floor exercises. I can work on my back. I can work on my core strength, do push-ups, whatever. I could do my meditation 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it works out to be that day. And then I still have time to just like read. I'll often read in the mornings or write, work on my book in the mornings or an article or whatever. Or I'll play games. And I think this has been the problem. The problem has been there's about 5 morning game-like activities that I do. One of them is called Coffee Golf. It's a little golfing game where you play around 5 holes of golf every day. There's a new course every day and you just play it. I really enjoy it. It's just a relaxing kind of thing to do. There's also like some achievements for getting like below a certain threshold. So some days I'll be in the 50% range and I try to get down to the 10% range, so I have to play it a couple of times. And I try really hard to just not do that immediately. I'll put it off and do it later in the day. When I have a moment, then I have this little thing. I have a game called Not Words. It's a crossword puzzle, but a little bit different. Like it tells you how many vowels or whatever. It's a crossword puzzle, but you have to do. It only gives you letters, but in chunks. I don't know how to explain it. You have to check it out. I play the New York Times Daily Connections. That's a fun one. YouTube, and this is where we're going to get to. Those 3 things, well, Not Words and Coffee Golf have been standard part of my morning now for years, like 2 years. I don't know. Coffee Golf is only like a year old. Not Words is pretty old. I was also playing Bonza for a while, whatever. Well, then I was waiting for a long time for the Harry Potter Magic Awakened game to come out. A card game based in Harry Potter. I was all in. And I've played it and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the experience of that game. So generally I put that into my morning time. Now, just within the last, sometime in December, YouTube came out with YouTube Playables. You can be on YouTube and there's these little games you can play. And one of those is a daily crossword. So I added that. So I guess what I was trying to get to is, I said like a while back that I kind of stopped social media because I was finding myself trying to find trying to find fulfillment through microblogging or whatever, and I stopped doing that, and I felt good about it. I think I have to stop doing the morning stuff. Like, just cut it out. Like, I don't need it in my life. It's not providing me great amounts of joy. I do enjoy the mental exercises. I literally, very much. But the thing that I need to think about is, could I do those things? I can do those things throughout the day. It doesn't have to be first thing in the morning, when I could be meditating, when I could be writing. And so I found that meditation kind of slipped. There was days, weeks, whatever, where I just wasn't really trying to be actively meditating, which was not good. Like, that's not who I enjoy that process. I enjoy the calmness that I feel in the morning after meditating. So why did I stop doing it? I've added a walk to my day. I now walk every day at lunch 1 mile. I enjoy that. I have tasks that I track in a daily logbook that do not include things like, did I play the daily crossword? I don't, and maybe I should track it, because then I could show myself how much wasted energy I've put. Like here, I did my walk today. Let me check it off. I have a logbook. We'll talk about this someday, but not right now. And I think that what I do in the morning there, during that time, during that window, whether it's my exercises or my meditation, lately it's been focusing on these external stimulus. That kind of sets a tone for the day. Often, by the way, I'm often listening to something while I'm doing this. There's a lot of podcasts that I listen to that aren't necessarily educational. They're just things that make me laugh or whatever. I will listen to one of those while I'm doing these word puzzles. And so I'm really I'm not even engaged. I'm not even present for the game. I mean, and I think that sets the tone for the day. And I think I just have to just say, that's enough. We don't need to do this stuff right now. We'll do this stuff later. And just focus on spending that time in the morning on being aware and maybe doing writing and reading. Those are the things that I need to be doing right now to finish this stupid book. It's not stupid. It's actually, I'm pretty pleased with the progress. And I like the story, so that's important, I think. That's my morning. Coffee. I have 2 coffees now, one at about 6 and one at 9. And then I have 2 teas, one at noon and one at 3. So I have 4 caffeine hits throughout the day instead of the 12 or so I used to get. And so I have my coffee, I do my meditation, I do my floor exercises for my back. If I write, I write. If not, I don't. And I read on my Kindle or whatever, short fiction online, and I play these 5 games. And I probably, some of that has to go. We can do these 5 games throughout the day. Maybe I need to figure out, like, I enjoy the games, right? I enjoy the mental exercise. Except for the Harry Potter game, there's no real mental exercise there. The other ones are puzzles. They're puzzle type things. I enjoy that. So I need to figure out a way maybe to space those out. I don't know. What's your mornings look like? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Being amazing friends and wonderful people, I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is traduce. It is a verb meaning to speak maliciously of or slander. We have snubbed Katrina permanently because she has, at one time or another, traduced each one of us in the society pages. Traduce. Traduce. Okay, cool word. But are there seriously society pages? Like, what is it? Like, Facebook pages? Is there a society journal that I'm not aware of?